Hey everybody, this is Emily Josephine, finally continuing my series on developing early financial independence. In the first video, if you missed it, please go back and look. I'm pointing to the link. We talked about changing your perspective about money. You've got to get your perspective on money right, or basically it will hold you in bondage the rest of your life. Even if you get to a point where you have $2 million and you can live on it, you're still going to be in bondage if you have the wrong perspective on money. So please get that right. All right, today I want to talk about changing your perspective about things. It's closely related to money. Again, I'm going to refer to the book Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. In their book, they talk about something called the fulfillment curve, and they've even got a graph with a curve like that. And what it shows is we have, when you have very minimal number of things, you don't feel very fulfilled. And then there's a certain point where you have everything you need plus a few luxury items. And that's the peak of your fulfillment regarding things. And then the more things you buy after that, the less fulfilled you feel. Well, why is that? Well, people accrue lots of things that go beyond the point of fulfillment for three main reasons. The first reason is they want to keep up with the Joneses. And probably most people who watch my videos aren't that way. However, I didn't used to think I was that way. When we lived in the suburbs, I was getting into urban homesteading, and we lived well beneath our means, obviously, to get to where we are now. We, in our 20s and 30s, we had to be frugal-minded and spend well beneath our means. However, when we moved, we had a lot of stuff. We got rid of a lot of stuff, and yeah, I mean, roomfuls of stuff, literally, furniture and all kinds of other stuff that we didn't need. And, and we had thought that we were being pretty frugal and we weren't buying stuff we didn't need. But, wow, we're part of this culture, and it's really hard, to make that paradigm shift. Well, just because everybody else has a big coffee table and a big living room doesn't mean we have to have one. Just little things like that. Little things like that, they'll add up. Okay, so keeping up with the Joneses, even if you think you're not doing it, you might still kind of sort of be doing it. Okay. Another reason that people go, keep buying things beyond the fulfillment curve is to fill an empty space. Now, there are two kinds of empty spaces. It could be an empty space in your heart. A lot of people haven't connected with God. I'll just be frank. They haven't connected with God, and so they feel like collecting things. They get temporary highs, kind of like some people get addicted to drugs to fill that empty space in their heart. Some people get addicted to shopping. They buy something and they feel great for a few hours. Oh, I'm so excited, and it fulfills them for a couple of hours, and then, then that feeling goes away, so they have to go buy something else to fill up that space again. But every time you fill up the space with things, with stuff, it's very temporary. Just like with trying to fill it with anything else other than God. So there's the empty space in your heart, and then there's the empty space in your house. I once had a wise friend tell me a long time ago, when I bought my first place, which was a condominium in Dallas, she told me that the empty spaces in houses have a way of filling themselves up, and she was right. I even did that in my apartment. Okay, people buy stuff they don't really need just to fill up the space. So a second reason that people buy more stuff than they really need or really want is to fill up space, whether it's their heart is empty or whether it's their house is empty and they feel obligated to fill it up. And the third reason that people buy more things, too many things, and they stop feeling fulfilled by those things, is self-medication. Now, this is related to filling up an empty heart, but it can be a little bit different. What do I mean by self-medication? It's you're struggling in your marriage. You don't feel loved anymore by your spouse, or you have other mental health issues. You're depressed a lot, and Buying things makes you feel temporarily happy. You're under a lot of pressure at your job. And, going and buying a new outfit or whatever helps you feel temporarily happy. It's like a drug. I mean, even, a legal prescription drug, it's like medication. But you have to, it's just like prescription medicine, right? Or over the counter. You have to keep taking it in order to get rid of that symptom. It's a bandage for a deeper root problem. It doesn't solve the problem. Like drugs don't solve the root problem. Neither does purchasing things, okay? So those are the three reasons that three main reasons people buy stuff. It's keeping up with the Joneses, they need to fill empty space, and they're self-medicating. So how do you stop that? If you want to achieve early financial independence and you want to get out of that cycle of buying things you don't need, how do you stop it? Well, first of all, if you know you have an empty heart or you're self-medicating, get help. Get help and get healed. Whether it's a psychologist or a 12-step program, I don't care. Get help and get healed. Okay? The second thing, remember what we talked about in that first video about life energy? Money equals life energy. And I talked about in that last video about keeping track of every penny that comes into and goes out of your life. And then you look at your list at the end of every month, what you bought, and you go, was this really worth my life energy? And you'll start finding out you're spending a lot of money on stuff that, whoa, gosh, that's my life here. And I spend it on that? Ew. And that will help you to be more conscious about what you spend, and you'll stop buying stuff you don't need, and you'll be able to save up more money to invest. And now I also want you to keep in mind that it's not just about your life energy, it's about other people's life energy. Every time you buy something, you're supporting the manufacturer. And what happens in the manufacturing process? Well, pollution happens. Using up resources happens, the natural resources. And in many, many, if not most cases, the people who are working in factories are working in dangerous conditions and not getting paid a living wage to do it. Working terribly long hours, children working. You let your conscience be your conscience. And always let your conscience be your guide, said Jiminy Cricket right a long time ago. Think about that when you're going to buy something. Think about the other people. All the other people who are sharing this planet with you, and what manufacturing is doing to the planet, and the other people whose lives are being not being respected because we have to have lots of cheap things. The third thing to do to lower your spending is to remember that the more stuff you have, the less freedom you have. I've said this in previous videos, I'm going to say it again. The more stuff you have, the less freedom you have. You not only have less money to be less financially independent, but you have more work. Sometimes that work costs extra money. And the more things you have, the more space you need to store it. So you have to have a bigger house. Bigger house, bigger mortgage payment, less money at the end of every month that you can invest. So, those are the three main ways to reduce your spending. Get help and get healed if you need to. Remember that money equals life energy, yours and that of other people. And remember that the more stuff you have, the less freedom you have. This is all about getting free, right? Not just part of financial freedom is opening up freedom in other areas of your life. So get your perspective right on things. They're just things. They are just things. So thanks a lot for watching. Please share this video with other people who need to stop buying so much stuff. Remember, if you haven't given to this is a good use of your life energy. Give to your favorite charity if you have not done so lately. I'll see you for the next video.